A very common and useful variation to means is the weighted mean. Now, these are actually used quite a bit. Unfortunately, our textbook and therefore the homework really isn't going to get into a lot of the detail here. However, weighted means, I want to give you a good video here because they are very useful. They do show up quite a bit. Basically, a weighted mean is where each data item, before you add them up and divide by the n value, you multiply it by some sort of weight to give certain items more influence in that mean than others. Okay, a couple examples. First of all, your grades in this class are a weighted mean. Your grade point average is a weighted mean. A lot of things calculated like this are weighted means. Weighted means, yeah. I thought I said that wrong. So, I'll give you the first example is your grade for this course. It is a weighted mean. If you look on your course syllabus, you'll see that your assignments are worth 15%, and really there hasn't been that many assignments, but they're 15% of your grade. There'll be more coming up. Your My Math Lab is 10% of your grade. Test 1 is 25%, Test 2 is 25%, and Test 3 is 25%. Each of these categories has its own weight, okay? And the weight is the percent of the overall grade that they influence, okay? Overall, that should total 100%, okay? That gives you 100% of your grade, overall grade. And so how do you calculate your grade based upon these weights? Well, to do that, you want to calculate your average or your mean for each category and then apply the weight to that, okay, or multiply it by that weight, by that percentage. Give you an example. If, for instance, if you earned on the assignments grade, let's say you were earning an average of, let's say 90%. Let's say you had a 90% on your assignments, okay? This is your grade now, okay? Or your mean for that category, okay? So in the category of assignments, you've got 90% as a mean, okay? The My Math Lab, out of all the My Math Lab assignments you have, let's say you're getting an 82%. I'm throwing some, I'm making something up here. On test 1, let's say test 1, maybe you didn't fare too well. Not as well as your homework anyway. Let's go with a 71% or something. So there's a 71% on test 1. On test 2, you did better. Maybe you got an 85% on test 2. And then on test 3, which we haven't taken yet, maybe on test 3 you end up performing very well and getting another 90% there, okay? So you've increased throughout the semester on your 3 tests. Okay, that's reasonable. So then how do you calculate your overall score for the semester? Well, we don't just average, or we don't just take the mean of these means, okay? That would be an unweighted mean, all right? That would just be, that would be if we counted them equally. But I want to give heavier weight or heavier influence to the 3 tests. And so they're given a higher weight than the homework is. In fact, they're given a weight equivalent to all the homework combined. Each test is all the homework combined. And so to make that happen, what we do then is we multiply. This is where the multiplying comes in. Multiplied. You multiply the data item. These are considered the data item by the weight. Okay, these are the weight. And then add them up and find the average. Okay. Since the total here of the weights is 100%, we're going to add these up and divide by 100%. Okay. Once we get the products in. So you calculate your product, and really the method for this is very similar to the expected value. It's actually almost an identical calculation to the expected value. So you do your product, and did I bring a calculator in here? I did not. That's awesome. makes this a little difficult. So 15% of 90 is a little under 15. It's like 14. 15%. 10% of 90 is 9. 5% is 4.5. So that's 13.5. Right? 15% of 90. Does that make sense? 15% of 90 is 13.5. I think that's right. Yeah. And then 10% of 82 is 8.2. 25% of 71. Oh, it's a quarter of 71. A quarter of 72 is doable. That's 18. So this would be 17.75. I'm seriously trying to do this in my head. Whatever, it'll work. Quarter of 85. Oh my goodness, I should have brought the calculator in here. I would use my phone calculator, but I'm filming on it. That doesn't help. 25, a quarter of 85%. Well, a quarter of 84 is 21, so it's 21.25 because you got another 1 quarter there. So 21.25, and then a quarter of 90 is 22.5. Okay, now, just because of my own uncertainty, you could double check me on all those calculations at home. I probably should do that before I publish this video, but just in case, we'll go with it. Okay, so then we add all this up. Not 100% of that one right there, 13.5, but 10% of 90 is 9. 5% is half of that, which is 4.5. You add them together, 13.5. That works, yeah, that should be right. Anyway, we add these up. That's 1, that's 2.2. So I've got a 2.2 out of the decimals here. I'm just kind of rough adding these. 13 and 17 is 30, and 8 is 38, and 2 is 41, 61, 81. So this is 81 and 2.2, which gives you 83.2. Okay, so that's your sum. Now you want to divide by the total weight, which is 100%. So actually, I'm dividing by 1 because you turn that to a decimal, right? So 100% is 1. So divide by 1. That's my average right there. So that's my weighted mean. So that means that with those scores, you end up with an 83.2% in the class. Okay, and with that percent in the class, you'd be earning, what's that, a B? That's a B between 83 and 87. Yeah, 83 and 87 is a B. I think that's right. Oh, I have it right here. 83 to 86.9 is a B. So yeah, you'd be getting a B in that for that grade. What's also interesting, if you wanted to go this route, is let's say at this point we haven't had test 3 yet, and you wanted to know, what do I need to get on test 3 to get a certain grade in the class? Maybe I go back through and readjust these for just a moment. Well, no, let's keep them. Let's keep them right there. And let's say we didn't know test 3. Don't know what it is yet because we haven't taken it. So I don't know the rest of this. So then you say, well, all I really want to do is get a C in the class. You can have whatever goal you want. You pick your goal. It could be D minus, could be an A, it could be whatever. Let's say you wanted to pick a C. I think that's a common goal for a lot of students. Not everybody, but for some. And so if you wanted a goal, you pick your goal. And I'll use a C for this. Now a C minimum is a 73.0% in this class. Okay, so what you need is for this value as your total, your weighted mean, to be 73. Okay, so in order to get 73 there, you want to figure out what does my score here have to be. I'll call that X, right? That's an unknown, give it a variable. So you want to figure out what that has to be in order to get 73, right? So you're going to end up solving an equation. It's not too bad. You do 25x, or 0.25 times x, okay? And then we solve. So you're multiplying, right? So here's 0.25 times 85, this is 0.25 times 71, and so forth. Well, 0.25 times x would give you that value. What we need to do then is just add up the products and set them equal to 73, right? The sum should add up. So we take 13.5 plus 8.2. Now, why don't I just do the sum? Forget about writing it all out. That's what, 21.7. Add those together, that's another 1, so that's 22.7. 22 and 17 is 39.7, 40.7, 60.7. So I'm going to call that 60.7 plus, so that's the sum of the top four. Then you get 0.25x equals 73. And so now we need to solve, it's just a basic linear equation, we solve for x. So we're going to subtract off the 60.7. We get 0.25x equals, what's that? That's a 12.3. And then we divide by 0.25. Well, dividing by a quarter is the same as multiplying by 4. So if I multiply that by 4, we get 48, and 1.2 is 49.2. So x is equal to 49.2. So that means in order to get a 73 in the class, with the prior grades as they are, you could afford to get a 49.2 on the last test and still get a C in the class, okay? So that's how we would do that, 49.2% on last test, okay? And that would be sufficient with the given grades as they are, the first four categories, to get a C, all right? If that was your goal. If your goal was to get a B plus, you would change this 73 to an 87, okay? You just change the goal, that changes this value here, which changes this value, which then changes the percent. But that's a nice way to calculate that. So I'm sure many of you are asking yourselves, what do I need to get in the final exam or on the test 3 in order to do a certain, in order to achieve a certain goal? Well, this is how you would calculate that. The other thing, what was the other thing I was going to say about that? The other thing is, of course, at this point, the assignments in my math lab grades are not entirely complete. So if your grade currently is 90 and 82, that could change in the meantime, right? Before, we've got a couple weeks left in the semester, that could change. It's not going to change a ton, okay? We've got a lot of those already calculated in, but you could account for some variability in this based upon those two grades still changing a little bit, all right? But you can go into e-learning, you can find your grades, your means at this point, and do this calculation. Now, let's take one more example before I forget, the grade point average. Grade point average is a great example of a weighted mean. Whatever your grade is in a class, you get associated with a numerical value, and your grade point average is not just the average of those, it's weighted by the number of credit hours that course had or contained. And so if you were, let's take an example here. I'm going to get rid of this just to work there. And so let's say you had maybe 4 classes. You had a 4 credit hour math class, and you earned, let's say you earned a B there. Let's say you had a 3 credit hour English class and you earned, let's say, an A minus in there, and let's say you had, that's 7 credits. Let's say you had maybe a 2 credit lifelong wellness class, and you earned an A in that one, and let's say you had a 5 credit, a 5 credit chemistry, maybe has a lab associated with it or something, the 5 credit chemistry class, and you got, let's say, a B plus in there, and you wanted to figure out what your grade point average is. Well, you don't just average those the associated scores or the associated values. You have to apply the weight of the credit hour as well. The credit hours give you the weight. And so you multiply the associated scale value with the weight of the credit hour and then add them up. And then you divide by the number of credit hours. Okay, so there's a division, there's an average, right? You have to divide by the total of something. And so in our case here, you're looking at 7 and 7 is 14. So there's 14 total credit hours. So we're going to divide our weighted sum by the 14. So to do that, B is 3.0. So here we have 3.0 multiplied by the 4, that's 12.0, 12.0. And A minus is 3.7. So we have a 3.7 times 3. Oh, why did I do that? That's 9, and 2.1 is 11.1. We have an A for 2 credits, so it's a 4.0 times 2, which is 8.0. And a B plus is 3.3 times 5. That's 15, and 1.5, which is 16.5. Okay? So that gives us our products, we add them up, that gives us our weighted sum, but then we still have to divide by 14 at the end. This ends up being 20, 31.1, 47.6. Right? Yeah, 47.6, and I've got to divide that by 14, of course. That wouldn't be simple calculation. So I'll do that real quick by hand. 14 goes into 47 3 times. 3 times 14 is 42. 5, bring down the 6, put my decimal. 14 goes into 56. Is that exact? Exactly 4 times. Look at that, worked out nicely. 4 times 14 is 56. 0 remainder. Well, I didn't plan that, but it worked. So your grade point average for that semester would be a 3.4, okay? So you have a 3.4 GPA. So again, that's a weighted average where you're weighing the higher credit hour classes more valuable in terms of the grade point average, more influential, maybe valuable is the wrong term, more influential. So in this case, the chemistry is the most influential grade, followed by the math, then the English, then the lifelong wellness, just based upon the number of credit hours that they contain, okay? It has nothing to do with their actual value as a subject, purely the value of the number of credits that they have.